and welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Thursday, February 25th. We're going to be talking some NBADFS picks on both DraftKings and FanDuel for today. But before we get started, I want to do a quick little shout out to Veridian Global. If you guys don't already know, I did join the True North Fantasy Football team. I'm going to be doing some written content on their website. I added their link down below. And then going to be joining them for some video content as well on their YouTube channel. Got that link in the description as well. But Veridian Global, they are a company that makes t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, like winter stocking caps, you name it. If it's clothing, they probably can do it for you guys. If you're interested in that, definitely be sure to check them out. I'll leave a link in the description below. Got a True North Fantasy Football t-shirt on right now. Got a True North Fantasy Football hat now. Got another snapback and a sweatshirt that are off camera as well. But once again, be sure to check them out. Great group of guys over there. But without further ado, we're going to get into some NBA DFS picks for today. We're going to look at yesterday's picks first, see how they turned out. So on the DraftKings side, we had Saban Lee, $3,800, looking for 19 fantasy points. He got to 28 points. That was definitely a hit. Pretty good day for him overall. His price is probably going to jump up the next time they go out and play. Kevin Huerter, $5,400, looking for 27 fantasy points out of him. Thought he might get a little bit more shot volume than he did yesterday. Apparently, Gallinari just got all the shots and was unworldly. I think he's like 10 out of 12 on threes yesterday. Insane day, especially after how bad he was the day before. But regardless, Kevin Huerter was a miss with 13 fantasy points. Jason Tatum, probably the biggest letdown for a lot of people yesterday. $9,200. No Kemba Walker. You thought he was going to have a big game. Coming off a couple big games in a row. 19.75 fantasy points. Definitely a huge miss there. LaMarcus Aldridge, $6,000. I liked him earlier on in the day. Thought he might be starting. Thought he might get a couple more minutes than he actually ended up getting. But he ended up with 25.25 fantasy points. He was definitely a miss. Wendell Carter Jr., $5,800. Looking for 29 fantasy points out of him. He got to 42. Overtime did help that out a little bit, but he was definitely a hit. Then on the FanDuel side, Patty Mills, $3,800, looking for 19 fantasy points out of him. He got to 19.5. Would have liked to see a little bit more, but still hit regardless. Then Lonnie Walker, $3,500, looking for about 18 fantasy points or more out of him. He got to 20.8, so he is definitely a hit. Jaylen Brown, kind of like Jason Tatum. Major letdown there, $8,400, 30.3 fantasy points. He was a mess. PJ Washington, I do not know what happened to PJ Washington yesterday. His minutes were down. As far as I can see, it didn't look like he got injured. It was just a weird game for him overall. $5,800. Looking for 29 fantasy points out of him. He got 10.2. That was a miss. Then we had Justin Patton. I was going for that cheap, low-owned center. I thought he'd get about 20 to 24 minutes. He only ended up getting 12. 10.2 fantasy points. He was a miss. Apparently, they decided it wasn't a good idea to play him, even though Jarrett Allen was destroying their defense. So that Rockets team is just so weird. It's hard to predict some of these guys sometimes, but for now, it looks like we're going to be off of Justin Patton if he's not getting at least 20 minutes. But with that being said, we're going to go over to RotoWire, look at the injuries for today. So for the Dallas Mavericks, Maxi Kleber and Kristaps Porzingis, both game time decisions. Still up in the air if they play. If they do end up playing, you can play both of them. Not bad values. There is a little bit of rumors out there that Kristaps Porzingis isn't happy in Dallas, unfollowed the team on Instagram or Twitter or something like that. So we'll see if he ends up playing, if he ends up getting traded in the next few days. Who knows at this point in time. Maxi Kleber, I think he's decently priced on both sides if he does play. If both of them don't play, you're looking at guys like James Johnson. You're looking at guys like Dwight Powell, Willie Cauley-Stein once again. You could even look at Boban for dirt cheap. Last time he actually paid off, he had like 20 fantasy points in like 13 minutes, which is ridiculous. But Boban is like the most efficient player in the world. The problem is he's just a giant and he can't stay on the court for like longer than 5 minutes at a time. Then for the 76ers, we got Seth Curry. He is a game-time decision, probable to play, but he did miss last time, so just keep an eye out on him. Orlando Magic, exactly the same as the last time out. Brooklyn Nets, we're looking at, I believe TLC played the last game. I think he's probable for this one, so he should probably play once again. Major one that we're looking at is Jeff Green, see if he plays or not. If he doesn't play, definitely a big boost up to DeAndre Jordan once again. Shamit's game-time decision as well. If he doesn't play, you might see a little bit more of Tyler Johnson. For the Kings, the only new thing we have is Hassan Whiteside's out. He's in the COVID protocol now. I'm not sure if he tested positive or if he was just around someone that did, but he won't be playing in this game. Gives a boost up to Rashawn Holmes. Should definitely see over 30 minutes there. Marvin Bagley's probably going to get some backup center run as well. Then for the Knicks side, The major one is Elfrid Payton. He's doubtful to play today, so he's probably not going to play. You're looking at Derrick Rose and Emmanuel Quickly getting more minutes. Don't be surprised if Derrick Rose plays a ton just because, Tom Thibodeau loves Derrick Rose, even though he's not the old Derrick Rose. Then for the Clippers, Oturu's been out for a while. Patterson's out now. Not sure what's up with him, but he wasn't playing very much anyway, so no big changes there. Dylan Brooks is the one that we're watching for the Grizzlies, see if he plays or not. If he does end up playing, you could probably throw him in, but he's not that great a value either way. If he's in, it just kind of ruins the value of other players more than anything. Then for the Wizards, Ish Smith's still out. Davis Bertans is a game-time decision, dealing with some knee soreness. We'll see if he ends up playing or not. He's been kind of disappointing since that one good game that he had, so he's probably not somebody I'm looking at playing anyways, unless you're kind of trying to take that dart throw, see if he pans out. Nuggets pretty much the same as the last time they were out. Whittington is a game-time decision, unlikely to play still, though. Even if he's active, I don't think he ends up playing any minutes at all. Then it looks like the Pelicans are completely healthy. And for the Bucks, it's mainly Drew Holiday, probably out once again. Bobby Portis is probable, but he's dealing with a little bit of a banged-up elbow. If he doesn't play, Brook Lopez gets a little bit of a boost. Giannis gets a little bit of a boost. And that's pretty much it for the injuries that we got today. We're going to move over to Draft Kings, talk about our picks over there. So at point guard position, we got Derrick Rose. Kind of talked about him a little bit. Elfrid Payton's not going to play in this game. He is $4,600. You're looking for 23 fantasy points out of him, averaging 24.5 this season. Coming off a pretty strong game for him. Goes against the Kings. Kings don't have much of a defense regardless, so it should be a pretty good game for him overall. I think Emmanuel Quickly is definitely in play at $4,100 as well. Whoever gets more minutes of these two is probably going to pay off in a big way. Then we have Tyrese Halliburton, $6,600 at shooting guard. You're looking for 33 fantasy points out of him. He's averaging 30 on the year. Been playing monster minutes lately. Been playing exceptionally well. As long as he's under $7,000, I think he's in play for today, so we're going to be playing him. Small forward, kind of nasty day overall here. So I want to pay down a little bit for a guy. Bruce Brown is my guy that I'm going to today. $4,600. Looking for 23 fantasy points out of him. I think he kind of gets you to 25 more times than not. Al-Farouq Aminu is our power forward option for today. $3,500. You're looking for about 18 fantasy points out of him. Just a cheap pay down option. Guy that's getting minutes, been starting. Should be a pretty good matchup, good pace matchup. And, he's a guy that really relies on steals and blocks, so maybe he gets a couple of them in this game, pays off in that regard. Then at center position, we have to play him today. It's Joel Embiid, $9,900. So this is the first time he's been under $10,000, maybe all year. And he's coming off a bad game, or a down game for him, I should call it. But, you're looking for 50 fantasy points out of him. He's averaging 54 on the season. Goes against Dallas that might not have Kristaps Porzingis. They might not have Maxi Kleber. You got Dwight Powell, Willie Cauley-Stein, but it's not really anything that's going to stop Joel Embiid. So I think he's definitely somebody that should be one of the first guys in your lineup. I do like Rashawn Holmes here as well. He's $5,700. Getting that additional minutes like we already talked about with the injuries. So he definitely has a chance to pay up as well. If you want to go with two centers, using one at utility, you can definitely do that. But with that being said, these are my 5 picks for DraftKings for today. If you go with these 5 guys, you'll have $20,800 left over, just over $6,900 per player. So definitely a little bit of room to spend up. And then as the day moves on, as some value opens up, kind of fill in the rest of the spots with some value picks as well. Then we'll get moved over to FanDuel. And on the FanDuel side, point guard, we got Lonzo Ball, $6,600. You're looking for 33 fantasy points out of him. He's been playing really well lately. He's been getting the minutes. Last time he played against the Bucks, he was very, very good. You can't factor that in too much. It is a little bit of something to note that he's had success in this matchup before. I think the Pelicans are a decent enough team that they can keep this game close enough, that it doesn't turn into a blowout or anything like that either. Then at shooting guard, it's really, really ugly. We went with Seth Curry, $4,000, looking for 20 fantasy points out of him, averaging 21 on the season. He gets the minutes. The only question is if he's going to play or not. If he does end up playing, I think he's still going to see 30-plus minutes. Then at small forward, we're going to go with Will Barton. $5,000, you're looking for 25 fantasy points out of him. Goes against the Washington Wizards, which is essentially one of the worst defenses in the league. So it should be a pretty good game for him, playing pretty good minutes. He's not a guy I'm too concerned about, and he does offer some major upside if he gets hot on a day like today. And right now, there's not a lot of value plays, so sometimes with these value plays, you want a guy that's probably not going to kill you, but then if you got a guy like Will Barton who could have a 40-point upside, that could definitely help put your team over the top. Then at power forward, we're going to go with Giannis. $11,400. I know it's a hefty price tag. You're looking for 57 fantasy points out of him. It's a good matchup for him. I think he gets you to 60. It's Giannis, so you definitely have upside for 70 plus. On a day like today, if you can squeeze in the best player on the slate and then find some average value here and there, I don't see any reason not to do it. And then last but not least, at center, we got Richaun Holmes. Kind of talked about him a little bit on DraftKings. I do like his price a little bit better over there. But $6,400, you're looking for 32 fantasy points out of him. He's averaging just over 30 on the season. I think it's a pretty good matchup for him. I don't think Nerlens Noel is going to stop him. I think it's a game, maybe he gets a block or two, steal or two, gets his good share of rebounds, a couple points here and there. I think he's definitely a guy that can pay off. Center overall isn't too deep today, so you're either paying all the way up or all the way down. If you want to be in the middle, I think Richaun Holmes is going to be your guy. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 guys over on FanDuel, you have $26,600 left over, just over $6,600 per player. So definitely explore your different options. And like I said, there's going to be some more value opening up throughout the day, so some of these picks may change here and there. If there's anyone that majorly changes for my core 5, I'll mention it down in the comments below. As always, I'll be listing all the news that comes out throughout the day down in the comments, all the starting lineups as they are announced there as well. So be sure to follow up on the video. Make sure you're looking at the comments, seeing all the news that is coming out. But with that being said, if you guys are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, and that's really one for you, the viewers. Helping you guys with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL, helping you guys with your fantasy football teams, covering all the different football news, and as we move forward into baseball season, covering some fantasy baseball and baseball news as well. If you are new or current subscribers yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. And like I've been saying, I'm going to be doing NBA DFS videos every single day. Then I'll be adding some fantasy football content here and there throughout the week as well. But that's really all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Hopefully you guys do very well in NBA DFS. I would suggest this is a slate to play a little bit lighter on tonight since there's not a whole lot of value as we speak. So just be careful out there tonight. But if you guys have any questions at all, as always, feel free to ask me down in the comments. Definitely here to help you guys out once again. And with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me. And I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.